Good morning, Wiki people.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have to say congratulations to Greg. He just became a new grandpa.
Yeah.
If
Little
you
baby
notice,
boy.
Greg, this is the second thing. If you notice Greg sniffling or wiping his nose a lot, his puppy got sprayed by a skunk. And then it's a really wet, rainy day, so he's getting to relive it. So he's doing
All
his
over
nose a lot.
again.
So, hey, Greg.
Hi, Megs. Thanks for that. Thanks for that show. Happy Hacktoberfest to you.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, we're celebrating all month.
Yesterday, and then I
What's
got
that?
a phone call and didn't get to go in.
Yeah, no, it was good. We actually had some more. There are 3 new tree views on the added to the tree apps. So some things are happening. The one I'm working on is a little bit stalled, but hopefully I'll get some time to work on that this week. It's been a busy October.
Yeah, and how fast did that baby come? 30 minutes?
The baby, I actually had to drive my daughter to the hospital because her husband was rushing back from the school he was teaching at. He said as soon as he saw a call coming in, he didn't even bother to answer. He just took off. Luckily, it was a PD day, so he didn't have students around him. He wasn't just abandoning a class.
Abandoning? Oh, that would be horrible.
that would not be a smart thing to do. But
woo, doggy, that's a boy.
Anyway, so she by the time we got to the hospital, within 45 minutes, maybe a bit less, baby boy Liam arrived. So. Liam.
We are so happy to welcome Liam to the Saturday morning crew because we know we'll get to see him at some point.
You will at some
point. Is Sophia
point.
happy she's getting a baby brother?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sophia's been very excited all this time. Yeah.
I bet. Hello, everybody. Sorry, Greg and I are just catching up.
Yeah, that's right.
We got a big crowd in here today. Good morning. Brian won this morning. He was the first one in. You get a whoopee button. Let's see. Audrey Martin's here. Lynette Jester. Christine Miller. I saw that. Cool about your Y-DNA testing, Lynette. Keep it up. Nice. Go up higher, further. Get a 700 once you can. And then get another cousin to test the Y700. You can't really, you got to get a second one to really, make it work. Murray Maloney, Victor's here, Susie Carter, Lisa Gervais, Mark Lemon, Chris Wine, Hillary Gatsby, hello, Wales. Let's see. Amy Gilpin's here, Judy Stutz. I'm looking for, hey, Mary Sleppy. I got to spend a lot of time with Mary here recently. That was fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lisa Gervais is here. Hello, out there in Stittsville. I noticed that there's a private chat. Hey, Donna Gerber. People are rolling in kind of slow this morning. I feel kind of slow. It's a very dark, rainy day here. But I tell you what, if you could go back in time, the first one I'm going to read, I should read this one first.
Okay.
Let me pull it up and get my screen share going. Okay. This is the first one I'm going to read. Let me blow it up so it's big, big, big. Question of the week is, if you could go back in time, where would you go? Kind of question.
Okay.
Get my presenters thing up. Question of the week. There we go. So the very first answer to that is from our good friend Chris Ferriello. He's not even up there. He just walked in.
Yeah, he just showed up. Yeah.
Now he's going, he sees what I have up on the screen. What method of time travel would be best to? The DeLorean's reentry is a bit, yeah. Okay, I agree with that. Oh, thank you, Greg.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyway, I'd use a TARDIS and arrive in 1930 in San Pietro Almeida, Italy. The TARDIS can translate any language with a 100-mile radius, and I would use it to my advantage as I go and get the information I need. However, there is a catch. I can't actually meet my ancestors, as that would cause a disruption in the space-time continuum. I don't want to alter my own personal timeline, but I would so meet them if there was a guarantee that it would be okay. I just don't want to get into trouble with the bigwigs who monitor time travel They get testy if someone alters that sacred timeline. Chris, if you altered the timeline, you might not even be here anymore.
Exactly. That's what he's worried about.
Yeah. After finishing up in San Pietro, I'd go to 1930 Haverhill, Massachusetts, and look up my ancestors there and sneak some photos. So if you time travel, do your gadgets travel with you? They do, don't they? I've done the same in San Pietro too. Then I'd go forward in time to the 1970s and watch my parents get married. That's so
Oh, that's sweet.
using a disguise. I talked to my grandfather as I don't remember him. I think he'd recognize you. You know, he died when I was 4, and I talked to people and try to stay out of history's way. End up back in. I don't think it'd work, Chris.
Yeah,
but that's a fun. Where would you go, Greg?
Where would I go? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think I've answered this type of question before, thinking, I go back to Ireland and, avoid the fire or save the records that got burned in the 1920s.
They've rebuilt that.
They have, but they haven't recovered all of those records, though.
I don't know. I haven't looked to see what the completeness is. It's Trinity University Dublin recreated the archives of were burned by doing it virtually, finding other places that had those same records. So you would go back and you would get in the way of all of.
Well, I don't know. Crazy. Yeah, I know.
you might be a dead Greg.
That might be. Yeah, that might not be a smart move.
I was thinking there were lots of answers. What was Betsy's? Let me look real quick. Betsy's answer to the question of the week is I would travel to 1940s so that I could meet my maternal grandparents and see my mom and aunt as teens. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like that. I also liked a lot of the answers we got. Go back to 1837 to meet Isabella Bird and travel around the Hawaiian Islands with her. Can you imagine Hawaii before it became really over commercialized? That would be so cool.
That'd be wild.
I'd be back to meet my paternal grandfather who died before I was born. He was an immigrant in the U.S. from Wales. He worked as a stone cutter and started working as 9-year-old. Woo! I wish I'd have known him. That's from Kim Williams. Don't forget to upvote these great questions of the week. Answers to the question of the week. I would like to be on the wharf in Nouvelle France in the 1600s for the arrival of one of the ships bearing the Fille du Roi. Dozens of those young women are my ancestors. It must have been such an emotional time for all involved. There were lots and lots and lots of settlement schemes. And some of the settlement schemes were more interesting than others. Like England said, hey, European Protestants, come on, we'll take you over, give you provisions and set you up so that we have less Catholics. And then the Catholics turned around and said, hey, we're going to send over thousands of beautiful young women and you guys just marry them and have as many babies as you can.
And they did.
They did.
They did.
So the Fille du Roi was France's answer to the British settlement schemes of the Americas. That's an interesting one. I would go to Cherry Valley, New York in 1770 so I could meet my husband's 5th times great-great-grandfather, William McClellan, and his wife, Jane, when their oldest son was born. For his, what was your maiden name? That's crazy. I would not waste my
on one question.
On one question, and my husband's family.
Oh.
Let's see. I'd go back to that was from M. Ross. I'd go back to the 1920s. Let's see. Go to Albania because I would have liked to have been able to know about my great-grandfather who died the same day my grandfather was born. Unfortunately, no one in our family knows where he's buried. And I can't even check the register because they got burnt in 1990s. Would I go back to my paternal line, 5th great-grandfather, and see what really happened to him in January of 1781? Was he at the Battle of Utah Springs servicing the troops, taking them supplies? Was he visiting his son, who was a captain? James Alden in that? He died of smallpox. And that's the other question. When I was in South Carolina last week speaking, I kept asking these Revolutionary War people, where were the people who died of smallpox at the Battle of Utah Springs? Where were they buried? You know, where was the hospital? I hear
field hospital. Yeah.
You know, I want to know. So who knows? I'd like to know where he's buried, because there's so many stories that he was in the Revolutionary.
Would they have been quarantined?
What's that?
Would they have been quarantined because of the smallpox?
I don't know. You would think so.
You would, yeah, because it's pretty contagious, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and it was rampant at that battle. So, so that's from me, but I go back to the 20s, Albania, from Chiara Rizzaro. Then Kay Smith says, I would go 10 years into the future.
Ooh.
And see if my wife and I are still around, whether we have joined the hereafter. I'm living way too conservative if I'm about done here. Besides, I've seen Back to the Future, and I would hate to screw up my destiny by visiting the past.
Yeah, that's right. So screw up your future instead.
Yeah. I love this picture, and I think it's going to be our best one. This picture, no.
Oh, there's a picture?
Yeah, no, I like all the hearts and everything. I'd go back to 15 years ago and sign up for WikiTree. Yeah, sorry. That is
good. That's the great answer.
Yeah,
Way
David
David.
Draper. Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
Pat Roach has been here. I don't know. How long has Pat Roach been a part of WikiTree? I got to check that out real quick.
I don't know.
Pat Roach has been a member of WikiTree since 2014. I thought she was here longer than I have been. So, and David Draper says he signed up in 2021. So Teresa Wills says, I contemplated this many times. I think first I'd go back to 1940s and meet my grandfather, who died before I was born, and see my other grandparents and see how they lived. That's pretty cool. Go back to the 1940s. People are answering this as if they get a couple of chances. Like this time they're going to go here. The next time anyone asks, they're going to go somewhere else.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Time travel. Oops. Well, we already voted up that one from Chris Ferriello.
Yeah.
Haight Ashbury in 1966, The Summer of Love, from Frank Blankenship. I'm just going to leave that there. And Kay Smith says, I'll see you at Woodstock and Altima.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. While watching Back to the Future 3, I realized that my grandfather was 5 years old in 1885.
Oh,
what was his life like in Ely, Nevada? East Ely. How amazing to live at a time where to get around you either had to walk or ride a horse. Fun. That's from Janet Puckett. I'd go back to the 1800s. This is from Hillary Gadsby. I'd go back to a time in the 1800s to find my ancestors who had illegitimate sons and ask my second great grandmothers about their father's line. I'd ask them about these illegitimate sons too. You know, that might break up the whole family. So you got to be careful, Hillary. Having blocks at the 2 times great grandparent level is difficult to overcome, even with DNA testing. Illegitimate. What MPEs? Did we upvote that? We did. We upvoted her. Every time I think of this question, I think of all the immunizations I would need to go back in time.
Oh,
wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking I needed to go and get my flu shot soon. To the borders of the Scottish side, of course, so I could participate in a raid with Douglas into the English countryside.
With Douglas.
Okay, listen to this. I'd be putting blueberry pie in my saddlebags for the return trip. Who would be waiting back on my side of the border? Well, Mags.
Of course. That's hilarious.
I said you are hilarious, but you also have fine taste in pies. Let's see. I don't know what happened to my response before. I thought about this, but before actually, and there's no doubt about it, I would go back to the year 1850 in Bulltown, Braxton County, West Virginia. I would want to meet all of my relatives who lived then and beg them to report their births and deaths. Hey. Genealogist in the future.
That's right.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Yeah, write it down. I would go to Pine Plains area of Dutchess County, New York, and where my Palatine German immigrants moved and invited the missionaries to stay at their home, supported them, and then became as known as the Moravian John Rowe because of his support. That's cool from Robert Rowe. Okay, Bill Vincent. JFK assassination on the 22nd of November, 1863, to film what actually happened.
What actually happened.
There is a film. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a film, but
visit each of my ancestors in Kentucky, starting with my great grandparents, whom I don't remember. I'll dress carefully and take a small weapon with me. Anybody that talks about going back to Kentucky or out west, make sure you and does that can you take a Glock, or do you have to go and buy an antique gun?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Visit dinosaurs in different geologic periods of time to see how they looked, smelled, and sounded. No, don't do that. To smell them, you'd like to have to get close to them. Have you ever smelled an alligator? No, there's a reason why. Anywhere in the U.S. on the 31st of December, 1985, when the price of Apple stock was 8 cents.
Oh.
Yeah. And Bill, if you did that, yeah, we'd be your best friends. Is it possible that UFOs we see today are just visitors from a later time in history? I like that question. Seventh great grandparents. Let's go on to the next page. This is hard. I have so many places: Mount Pleasant, Titus County, Texas. What happened to my great grandparents? The drinking game this morning was going to be how many times I mentioned Eleanor of Aquitaine.
Oh,
how many people have mentioned it so far? We're up to 3, and I haven't even counted. I haven't said it out loud.
Okay, but why? Why Eleanor?
Because WikiTree has so many people connected to Eleanor of Aquitaine as their great. Which is fun. I would go to Philadelphia, watch for the ship Neptune arrive, and find my first paternal ancestor. First question would be, where was he born, and what were the name of his parents? That's a very popular answer. Let's see. Didn't know my maternal or paternal grandparents. The 4 died before my birth. The most recent death was that of my mother's mother, 1948, 9 years before I was born.
Wow.
So my dad died father's father died in 25. My math flags were going up.
Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking, that's all.
Yeah, that's cool, Mario. And thank you, Mario, for answering, making comments on all the questions this week. 1850s to Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, where most of my ancestors lived at the time. Then I could ask my 2 times great grandfather where he came from and where and when he was born and his family, because of brick wall. I can say that I know a lot of Irish people ended up in that county in Pennsylvania, because I have an Irish family, the McElmoyles, that I research, and I know a lot of them ended up in that county. I can also tell you that county is beautiful right now. I drove through it last week, Monday, and it was gorgeous.
And how do you pronounce it again?
Schuylkill.
Schuylkill.
That's as far as I know.
Okay. Wow.
Don't. So somebody go and find the pronunciation of that. Thanks for checking up on me there.
There's a lot of letters there, and it's hard to figure out how they go flow together.
Let's see. And then the last one was Brian Nash. Hey, Brian. This is interesting. As an individual, I would love to go back and fix some of these bad choices I've made throughout my life. That would be the other thing. Yeah. I had something happen to me in 1967 that I would change drastically, and it would have changed my whole life. I made it through. I've made throughout my life. As a historian, I'd be interested in visiting certain areas of interest, such as 18th century Scotland, or maybe to meet some of my heroes from the Protestant Reformation. Who has heroes from the Protestant Reformation, Brian?
Yeah, well,
like John Calvin, John Knox.
Well, I'm glad he has those.
Witnessed Luther tack his 95 Theses to the community. I don't think anybody saw him actually tack those up.
Oh.
I think he did that. Or did he do it with a crowd? I don't know. let's see, go various conferences that the Fathers of Canadian Confederation had. But I sense this question is being asked to be thought of as a genealogist. If I could go back in time to one of my specific ancestors in life, it might be a little boring, but I'd love to go to meet my maternal grandfather, Andrew Anderson, and become his friend when he was a teenager a few years before he shipped off to fight in Europe. I heard he was bright and full of enthusiasm for life. Growing up, I always knew him as a kind and gentle man, but one who always drank as a way of dealing with the things he did and witnessed in Europe. After he returned, his infant daughter died, and as I understood it, that was one of the things that caused him to give up on his dreams. So yeah, I think I would like to go back in time when he was full of hope and dream and just hang out with him. Would you tell him, Brian, to keep that spark? Would you? Yeah. What would you do? Would you try and interfere? I would.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, man, you just have no idea where your life's going to go. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to plant that seed where you're the person late in life that says, somebody said to me once. Yeah. So that's the question of the week.
That's great. Well, I started some answers here. So first of all, you did pronounce it correctly. Donna agreed with you. And she also agrees that it's gorgeous right now, the county in Pennsylvania. Need to go visit that again. And then other people were sharing their, where they would go. Karen says, back to the 21st of August, St. George's Church, and attend my third great-grandparent's wedding and ask my grandfather where he came from.
Can you imagine being at your wedding or the reception and some weird woman comes up? Yeah. Hey, where are you from?
Yeah, that's right. That's weird. I don't know about this one from Tree Climber. Find out about my two siblings that don't share paternal DNA. They don't know, and I'm not telling them.
Oh, your picture's up, Tree Climber. Get that down quick.
Yeah. Going to the 1850s Ontario, talk to my paternal second great-grandparents and figure out their parents. Maybe they'd be at the wedding. I go to the 1770s Sutherland and try to sort out all my Mackays or Mackays. Early Appalachia for you from Stephanie. Biscuit. Tennessee before it was known as Tennessee. And then Madison County, New York, to find the families of Mary Chapman and Joseph Hammond. Do not have either of their birth families. Even though we have Y-DNA, they have Y-DNA for both. That's helpful, hopefully. And then go back to the Schleswig-Holstein in the late 1700s to visit the ancestors that I know but don't yet have sources for.
Do you think you'd find sources while you're there?
Maybe in the 1700s, the sources.
Can you imagine going into the 1700s church as a lady?
Oh.
And saying, hey, I'd like to see some records. They would say, go ask your husband to come back.
Yeah, you're probably right there, right?
Yeah. And Schuylkill, Pennsylvania is in the Appalachians as well. Because I drive over those mountains forever.
Forever, eh?
Yeah. Oh, it was a fun drive, though.
Nice. Good. Well, we head to the profiles of the week? The question this week is, which screen doctor are you most closely connected to?
I was very, very disappointed they didn't have Doogie Howser.
Yeah, you're right. They don't have Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. And now most of these I knew about, but there were some I didn't actually. One actor I love, and surprisingly, I didn't know his connection to his screen doctor role. So that was interesting. So the first one, the primary person is David McCallum, who just passed away just recently. And
who is your closest?
Is he my closest?
At 19 degrees.
Ah, okay. Because there's one who's actually my ninth cousin, but he's 20 degrees away. So
Dick Van Dyke is my closest at 17.
Oh, you're so lucky. That's who I'd want to be. Or maybe he was. No, he's.
I think maybe we should add the real connection in our little TV doctor connections to Mags.
Yeah.
Little widget, yeah.
The real connection.
Ian Bacall.
Oh.
Is it Ian who does that?
Ian does that, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so here's David. David Keith McCallum Jr. 1933 to 2023. So born September 19th in 1933 in Maryhill, Glasgow, Lanarkshire, Scotland, and passed away just a few weeks ago, 25th of September 2023 at age 90. So he got to celebrate his 90th birthday in New York City. Scottish-American actor and musician, best known from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and NCIS. That's a huge range of from the, right?
Like every other young girl in the 1960s, I fell in love with his Russian character from.
Oh, from James Bond?
No,
or from Man from U.N.C.L.E. Yeah,
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Ah, right, because he wasn't on the uncle team. He was the anti-uncle team, right? Yeah, he was the second of two sons, born to David McCallum Sr., who was a renowned orchestral violinist, nice, and Dorothy Dorman, who was a cellist. So, I mean, he had music in his family there. They moved to London when he was a child, but then had to go back to Scotland during World War II for safety. Earned a scholarship, and prepared for his musical career on concert stage. Now, did he ever sing or play an instrument during any of his performances?
I think I have seen him play or sing. I think I have.
Mm-hmm. So he was classically trained. Then he started doing bit parts in British films. He was married to Jill Ireland for a while, and then they had 3 sons, including an adopted son. Then he got remarried to someone else who is not mentioned, the second wife. So she must still be alive, I presume. But there is a picture of him as Ilya Kuryakin.
Mm-hmm.
A mysterious Russian agent, made him a pop culture icon, and some described him as a sex symbol. Apparently, he also had on-screen chemistry with his co-star Robert Vaughn. And at one point, he received more fan mail than even Clark Gable or Elvis Presley. That's pretty wild. Anyway, so he also played different roles: Cold as Sapphire and Steel, Murder, She Wrote. That's interesting. Sequest DSV. Have you ever heard of Sequest DSV?
Yes.
I just heard
submersible vehicle.
Yes. I heard a podcast talking a bit about it, and it was not in glowing terms in terms of quality. But I guess it's a cult favorite, Babylon 5. And of course, then later in NCIS, he was Dr. Donald Ducky Mallard. And I actually haven't watched the NCIS series. So I recognize his face, I guess, from commercials and stuff. But anywhere else. He published a novel and passed away at 90 after a brief illness in New York City. There you go. Moving on. Let's see. I'll just keep going this way, which isn't the order. Moving right along. So this guy, Timothy Sidney Robert Hardy, was born on the 20th.
EFSA. There's so many little.
I know. Yeah. So, commander of the British Empire, or companion of the British Empire. I always forget what the C stands for. Film screen actors. I don't remember what F say. I should really look up these letters before we go online. Anyways, born in 1925, 29th of October in Cheltenham, Gloucestershire, England, and passed away 6 years ago, 3rd of August, 2017, at age 91. So this is not, so far, our crew have, lived a nice long age, unlike some years or some weeks when we have lots of people who passed away way too early. English actor, played Siegfried Farnham, All Creatures Great and Small, and Cornelius Fudge, as well as Winston Churchill. But so, of course, Dr. Farnham, the veterinarian, is what got him into this category. And I guess I should have mentioned that the reason why David was in the category for doctors is because he was a doctor on NCIS.
Yes.
That was
he had those cool glasses that pop. Is that him? No, that wasn't him.
I'm not sure. I mean, this is a picture probably from, oh no, that's taken from a conference. I'm guessing this is a picture of him in NCIS. But Timothy, anyways, yeah. Robert Hardy was Siegfried Farnham. So he was the older, he was the vet, the head vet in the All Creatures Great and Small, and crusty older brother and veterinarian helping out with the young guy who came in. But that was fun show. First marriage in 52 to Elizabeth Fox, then married Sally Pearson, and is there only two? I thought there was anyways, there we go. Close friend of Richard Burton, we met Oxford. Interesting. And interesting. When he played Henry V at one point, he developed an interest in medieval warfare, and in '63 he wrote a documentary on the subject, and it was actually became an expert in it, and was consulted by archaeologists after raising the Mary Rose. So that's kind of wild, eh?
Yeah, and the Mary Rose is a really cool story.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that. I like archaeology, and that was really cool that they raised that ship intact.
Yeah. I think it's kind of neat when you see another side, another dimension of someone that you only see on screen, sort of thing, and you think that's all they do, But no, they have these other interests and talents.
It's like running into your math teacher at the Home Depot.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
You're buying wood.
Yeah, that's right. You eat food. You go to restaurants. Why? That's right. And he passed away in a retirement home for actors. Can you imagine a whole retirement home designed just for actors? What they would get up to?
Like stealing other people's bodies, and
that's right. That'd be fun. Reginald Carey Harrison, born 5th of March 1908 in Huyton? How would you pronounce that? I wonder. Huyton, Lancashire, England, and passed away the 2nd of June 1990 at the age of 82 in New York, United States. Known as Rex Harrison, of course. Won Tony Awards for his performance of Henry VIII, and of course in the role of Professor Henry Higgins, which he did on stage, and then he reprised that role for the movie. He was a great actor for that. Knighted by Queen Elizabeth II, born at Derry House, and his married 6 times. Okay, and he died of pancreatic cancer. What gets him into this category was that one of his roles was playing Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that version of Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, yeah, that was my favorite version of it.
I'm sure it's the better version, yeah. But there he is. That looks like, was that around when he did My Fair Lady? Or maybe a bit older.
I think he's older than that.
Yeah, it's a 76, so that's later than.
Yeah, that was 10 years later at least.
Yeah. But there we go, Dr. Dolittle. Oh, and of course now, this will be Chris's favorite, one of my favorites.
Oh no, he's already been going on that we left off the hologram doctor. He was going through all the doctors that.
Oh, all the doctors. Well, there's lots of doctors to choose from. That's true. Because every starship, has to have their own doctor, or multiple doctors even. But of course, the original is Bones McCoy. So Jackson DeForest Kelly, who's a distant cousin apparently. Born the 20th of January 1920 in Toccoa, Stevens County, Georgia. And he had a Southern accent. I didn't realize it was a Southern accent when I was growing up. I knew he had a different way of speaking, but I never didn't realize as a little kid that he was speaking.
He's from very close to where I'm from.
Is he?
No, we don't sound anything alike, but that's
no.
Okay.
Passed away in 1999, 11th of June at age 79, in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles, Canada. So
now, have his ashes, are they going to space with everybody else's?
They were scattered across the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But
from a satellite launch or something, right?
Quite possibly.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Of course, yeah, he's well known for his portrayal of Dr. Bones McCoy. Yeah. And he did more than just the original 3-year run. He also was in the animated series, even showed up in, I think, the very first one of Next Generation, but he had to take a shuttlecraft because he hated the transporter.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
So that's kind of funny. Yeah. So anyways, he spent his teenage years helping his father at their local Baptist church. And he had musical abilities. So another musician hiding among these actors. Yeah. He recorded he was recorded, okay, and this recorded as a single white male. At first I thought he recorded a single? No. It's a census. He was recorded as a single white male. Anyways, worked as an elevator operator. Then it got into the army.
He worked as an elevator operator, and then he had a character he was afraid of, a transporter. What?
Yeah, I know, eh? The irony there is funny. That's really, yeah. So he did a few other things besides just the Star Trek, and they mentioned that here. Gunsmoke. So that's interesting. So another one who was on Gunsmoke, because we see that the doc from Gunsmoke will show up a little bit later. So there we go. Bones. That's a nice picture of Bones. Hugh Laurie, Dr. House.
Dr.
Gregory House.
Dr.
House. English actor, comedian, writer, musician, known for playing Dr. Gregory House in the Fox medical drama series House.
Jazz pianist.
And jazz pianist, yeah, pianist. Yes, that's right.
Say that correctly, please.
Yes, say that. Yeah, piano player. Who doesn't love House? Well,
everybody hated House.
Many people didn't love House. Anyone who had to work with him, and many of his patients too.
That was a part of the charm of the show.
Oh yes, but you know what? There was one episode of House where, you know how they go through like 5-6 different, possible scenarios, things that are wrong with the person. Right. And eventually they find. But
ketoacidosis, sarcoids.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But there's one of them that they went through. One of these really weird ones that they went through, which wasn't actually I don't think it was the answer was it the answer in the end? I can't remember if it was the answer in the end. Was something that I discovered that I had. I have nodules in my chest from, it's something from delousing chickens when I was a kid.
Oh, that fungus.
The fungus, yeah. And they just sort of form little calcium deposits around it. So it doesn't hurt, but it showed up really weird on an x-ray that I did once. And they had to investigate.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I got this diagnosis from the doctor, and this really unpronounceable word. And then, a couple months later, all of a sudden, the same thing showed up on the house. I thought that was the wildest thing. But anyways, it's not a fatal thing, so don't worry. But it's just a cool little tweak. Anyways, his bio, of course, is really short because he's still living and stuff. But Gregory House, that's his claim to fame in this category. Raymond Hart Massey, Canadian, born in Toronto, 30th of August, 1896. But he went and lived in the States and died in LA. It seems that most of these people the ones that are deceased are either LA or New York.
and people are pointing out in the chat that there are many that are doctors that are British.
Oh yeah. Eh? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because House was originally British, right?
He is British still.
Oh, he still is British. Oh yeah.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie, yeah. Yeah. That's right. So Canadian-born actor. Now, interesting, he's best known for his portrayals of Abraham Lincoln. Like, look at this.
Wow.
That's pretty close, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, the eyes are slightly different, but the profile is very, I don't know. To me, that's pretty good. He joined in World War I. He joined the Canadian Army. He returned to Canada after suffering shell shock. He was posted to Siberia. I can't think that's a good place to go. But there he made his first stage appearance, entertaining the troops. So I guess as long as you're acting and not fighting in Siberia, maybe you'll stay a little warmer. Then he was severely wounded in France. Lists a bunch of his roles, including he played Sherlock Holmes in the early days in the 30s, The Speckled Band, The Scarlet Pimpernel. Then went on to do an H.G. Wells play. Became known for Trunk Full of Dreams, a series called Riverboat. But his doctor category, what he gets into this is that he was a doctor in the show Dr. Kildare, He wasn't the title character. That was Richard Chamberlain. He was another doctor named Dr. Gillespie.
And that was a big soap opera like show for the not even baby boomers, the people who had the boomers.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of remember, like, how long did it go on for, I wonder? Because I have a vague recollection that my mom watched that. Now, my mom was a nurse, and all her sisters were nurses, so it's not surprising they would have enjoyed a medical drama.
1961. Let me look and see. 1961.
Mm-hmm.
Till 1966.
Okay. Well, I would have been adopted by then, so I would have been in the house. Maybe it's repeats, because I can't imagine I would remember.
Hey, I remember John F. Kennedy's funeral, and I was 3.
You know what? I have a vague recollection of it was something big, and it was someone's funeral. It wouldn't have been JFK's because that was too early.
Probably Bobby's.
But the thing I remember is I remember my parents watching it, and I don't know if I was on the stairs or what, but I remember hearing the do 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 do. You know that song, the hymn, the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
I learned how to tie my shoes during JFK's funeral.
Oh my goodness.
I remember that. I remember the chair I was sitting in our living room, and I just kept trying and trying and trying. Finally, I got it.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is wild. Yeah. So, anyways, Dr. Gillespie.
Lester Pearson's funeral? Could it have been? Brian says he remembers it when he was 2.
Oh, wow.
But they wouldn't have been playing the Battle Hymn of the Republic at a Canadian.
No, it was definitely an American, and so yeah, I'm not sure. But the other cool thing I do have to mention, having grown up on a farm, is Massey. His connection to his father was head of the Massey Harris Company, which was a farm equipment company, which eventually merged with Massey Ferguson, which created tractors. So he's farm royalty. Now, I don't know if he's related to the Masseys, who were also the Governor General, but I'm wondering. But anyways, he's farm royalty because, from the Massey Harris and the Massey Ferguson families. So there you go. Next one, we have Tamura. I think that's how you might pronounce his name. Tamura Morrison from New Zealand. He was born on Boxing Day, 26th of December, 1960. He's a New Zealand actor. First gained recognition for his role as Dr. Hone Rapota on the New Zealand soap opera, Shortland Street. So another soap opera, sort of. He gained critical acclaim after starring as Jake the Muss Hickey in the 1994 film Once We Were Warriors, and its sequel, What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. And then he became internationally known, and Chris is going to like this, because he played Jango Fett in Star Wars, in the Attack of the Clones, and then he also played Commander Cody in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. In addition, he provided the voice of the clone troopers in both films, and most recently was the chief of the title character Moana from Moana. So, good stuff. So, but it's his doctor role in a New Zealand soap opera that qualifies him for this category. And then we have Trapper John, William Wayne Macmillan Rogers III, who is my 9th cousin once removed, 20 degrees.
He's my 7th. I win.
You always win. You're always closer. But that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're geographically closer, so there's much more likely that you're closer. And for me, it always has to go. They have to go way back to a French aristocrat to find.
I bet you have connections to those filles du roi.
Yeah, the filles. Oh, I have lots. I have. How many? I counted once. Anyways, it's more than one hand's worth of filles du roi in my. I'll have to get the exact number. Anyways, born on the 7th of April, 1933, and passed away. I'd forgotten that he'd passed away already. On New Year's Eve, 31st of December, 2015, in Los Angeles. Played Trapper John for 3 years, I think it was. His profile could use a little bit more spiffing up. little more love, especially since he has passed away. So we don't have that restriction anymore. So
WikiTree love.
give some WikiTree love to this guy.
Yeah.
He was fun.
He was, and he will always be Trapper to me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they switched actors. Oh, actually,
yeah,
doing some. I'm looking up some things. There, his Find a Grave. There was an actual bit. I did give it a little bit of love. It said about December 31st, but there were the obit, the Find a Grave, all the things said definitively it was the 30 that he died on the 31st. Even said in the obit on Thursday, which was the Thursday of that year, was the 31st. So I thought
New Year's Eve.
I got rid of the uncertain and made it certain. So that was my little bit of help there. Moving on. Who's this? Jane Frankenberg, known as Jane Seymour, OBE, Order of the British Empire. Known as another British actress playing a doctor, known for her work as Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, the show the same name. Her birth name, Joyce Penelope Wilhelmina Frankenberg, was born the 15th of February 1951 in Hillingdon, Middlesex, England, and still living. So the profile is a little sparse. But Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Did you ever watch that?
No, not really.
No, I hadn't either. I don't know if it was on during a time when I wasn't, at home and watching a lot of TV or something. She is a good actress, but she hasn't done much recently, has she? I don't think so. Hugh Milburn Stone, 1904 to 1980, 5th of July 1904, and from Harvey, Kansas, 12th of June 1980 from La Jolla, San Diego, California.
Good catch on that. A lot of people pronounce that wrong if they don't have any idea what it is.
Well, I know it's a Spanish word, so
it's a big surfing area. I want to go surfing in California.
Yeah.
It's a village. It's a nice little place.
Nice. 75. Sometimes known as Millie Stone, was an American film and television actor, best known as Doc on Gunsmoke. There's our yes. So there's a picture of him from Gunsmoke.
Oh yeah.
You recognize him?
Oh yeah. I didn't recognize the name, but I certainly recognize
the name.
The face.
Yeah, there he is from Gunsmoke. Yeah, born on the 5th. Then we have some census information. Married twice, it looks like. To Ellen Nellie Kelman and Frances Jane. Died 75, and buried in El Camino Memorial Park, San Diego. Lots of census information there. Good. Dick Van Dyke. Now this is the one. I mean, I love Dick Van Dyke, but I did not know the role that qualified him for this, because I guess I haven't watched the show. But 21st Cousin. You say he's your closest, right?
He's my for the connections.
For the connections, yeah.
Yeah. He's my 15th real cousin.
15th real cousin. Dick Van Dyke, American actor, comedian, writer, singer, dancer, producer, career spanning 7 decades. That's amazing, eh? Born in 13th of December 1925. So this is 23. He's really close to hitting that 100. I hope he makes it.
And I've seen interviews with him recently. He seems very healthy. So
yeah, that's good. Well, either way, he's made it a long time. He's a good guy. And so the profile just gives basically some stuff that you'd find in public records. Doesn't give details about his acting career, but there is a link to the Wikipedia article which has all of that. But his role is, let me go back here, Dr. Mark Sloan in Diagnosis Murder, which is not a show I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I don't think I ever watched it, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay.
That was like a 70s thing, I think.
Yeah. And then the last
Denzel Washington. I'm surprised they didn't have George Clooney up here.
I know. They could have. Yeah. But anyway, we have Dr. Philip Chandler from St. Elsewhere, Denzel Washington Jr. And again, living person. So profile is fairly sparse, but there is a link to Wikipedia, so you can read all about him there. But American actor, filmmaker, director, producer, has done lots and lots of stuff. But he qualifies for this category because of his role in St. Elsewhere early in his career, Dr. Philip Chandler. And those are your profiles of the week.
Those were good profiles of the week.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how you and I can sit back and be
reminiscent.
Well, and say, hey, you should do this or you should do that. I think that the profile of the week is a good choices normally, huh? Good choices.
Mm-hmm.
I do have. Oh, look, see, there's my.
Oh, look at that! Yes.
Okay, so I didn't know where to start for sure because I didn't watch all of last week's thing. I watched part of it.
And we appreciate Betsy and Azure and AON stepping in for us while we were
we were off gallivanting. I hate you, Greg.
What?
I hate you.
Oh no, why?
Joke. He said start with this picture, and it's from Yoke.
Yoke, yeah.
Yeah, no. What? I can't. No.
Finally.
Yeah, no. No. Great picture. Thank you. Photo I have of my four of my ancestors, my great grandparents, and my second great grandmothers. There you go.
There we go. Okay.
You're pulling one over on me.
I didn't even mean to, but I'm glad.
That's a crazy cool picture.
Isn't it neat? Yeah.
That looks like a print from a tintype. I don't know. It doesn't look normal.
Did you read the intro to it? Like he got it from.
I got this photo from a foreign. See, there I go again. Cousin of mine who took care of one of the wine boys who lost his leg during the Civil War. I found this photo while visiting this cousin with my parents. She allowed me to keep the photo because I fell in love with it. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy cool is that? And do we see the guy without the leg in the picture?
Well, I think down the middle there's someone who looks like he's in the Civil War or some type of. Yeah.
That's a cool picture.
That is
all right. Frederick Oswald, my 3 times great grandfather. That's from Lisa Murphy. Immigrated from Stern-Fellows, Württemberg in 1846 with his mother Dayton to Montgomery County, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Hazel Shock Barnes and Helen Shock Dorn are in the picture. That's a cool picture.
Nice.
You can tell there's an influence there from immigration. I love this photo of some of my ancestors so much I created the free space page for it alone. Wow.
That's neat.
Oh, I got to go look.
Yeah.
So here's the free space page. Wow.
Look at that.
Oh, look at the back even.
Oh,
nice.
Great.
Nice. Thank you. And that is from Bob Land. And where are they from? Great grandparents. This photo.
There's Quakers, I think. He said.
Middle River. Middle Being. Quakers.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And this week Betsy's not here, but I do have.
You have before you do the tip. Let me do the ancestor of the week. Okay.
No.
Go
ahead.
I just thought it's just close. So the ancestor, because remember we have this thing where we do ancestors of the week. We have dates associated with the month. So in the month, this one was submitted by June Butka, who's one of our regulars.
I don't see June in here.
I know we don't see June. This is two, but this William Nelson Stearns is actually June's little brother. And this is it's actually kind of it's a sad story. But June posted this. She made a GGG post, and I'm just showing you the profile of her brother that she's created. He was born in 1962, the son of Nelson Stearns and Shirley Pease. He had 4 older sisters. He passed away on the 13th of October 1962 of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. And what's really the thing that's heartbreaking is. So he passed away. He was only 3 months of age, His heart stopped working. His older sister found him not breathing in his cradle. That was June.
No.
Oh, can you? I can't imagine the
Yeah.
heartbreak. But it was
Love you,
found out.
June.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not here because of this.
I wonder if it's just too
Yeah,
much.
too much.
I can imagine, but what she's trying to turn it into a positive
Positive.
something going forward, because she said it was found out later years after genealogy research was done on the siblings and the children of the ancestors that the Stearns line had generations of children dying young from heart failure. And she went on the G2G post. She mentioned she has a great nephew who also passed away that way. But knowing that there are tests that can be done, so if you have that in your family, then you can test for that and be proactive.
Big hugs, big love, June.
Big hugs for you, June. And so, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I wanted to mention that. And but not only the grandnephew who passed away also passed away in October as well. So
yeah, October anniversaries.
Those are
that anniversary.
Difficult.
Let's go on to
Let's go something more exciting.
A little tip. So somebody sent me an email this week, and they said my George Osborne Templeton is a descendant. Now, if you know about my Templeton research, it encompasses quite a few people. And so I'm like trying to figure out how I can place George Osborne Templeton, not necessarily on WikiTree really quickly. I could find him and then follow his line back to figure out who he's a descendant of. So, but instead, I went to the earliest known ancestor, which is a placeholder ancestor for a fellow who lived in Island McGee, Ireland. And I've got his 3 sons now listed. So instead of going and just typing in George Osborne Templeton, I'm going to go show descendants, and I'm going to go up to my, can you see that? It's not showing up. There we go. And I'm going to type in the word George. There are 13 Georges that are descendants of this guy. So I'm going to just real quickly go through. This is so fast. So I see George shows up on the name, George Washington, George W., George Templeton, George W.C., George Gracie. There he is, George Osborne Templeton. I can find him so quickly that way. Wow. And amongst all 3 of those lineages that date back to the 1720s, and find him so quickly, I can find out who he's a descendant of very quickly. It's just a fast way to find somebody. If somebody just sends you a name out in the fog, you can find it really quickly. I could have found him, but it would have been a lot more steps. So this was really a fast and easy way to find somebody. So cool.
Nice.
That's the tip of the week.
That's a great tip.
Yeah. Do we have something else? Are we done? We're not done yet.
We're just talking about the preview, what's coming up.
That's it. Okay. So we do. We have some things coming up.
Yeah.
And so this week, today is the 20th. We got bingo coming up. Excuse me. We got the Saturday sourcing sprint going on. And then next week we have another roundup with us here. When is the 31st? Oh, they don't even have the 31st on here. There's other things going on. The 15 Nations Global Tour, BioBuilders Connect Canada, Project Notables. I'm in the Canada project, and it's been fun watching the notables getting worked on and some of the talk and Discord. Yeah. It's fun to watch that. The Germany Connectors, inventors of things we love. The integrators are working. Notable entertainers, TV US sitcom stars. That may have been how we got our doctors. Oh, yeah. Notable sports, global football, soccer. Yeah. The Sorcerers and U.S. Bike Heritage Connecting in the U.S. Civil War. Of course, we've got the We Will Rock You for October going on in the 12 months of photos. And you can find that. Greg showed me how to find that really quick. Hacktoberfest. We just barely mentioned that. Yeah. 12 months of photos. You can find that easily by going to the What's Happening in WikiTree. It's way down here in the bottom. That's the way I had to find it. So, yeah. And if you are interested, you can go up here to find projects. Click on over to go down to the not theme projects, but the functional projects. Click on ambassadors. Click into the project, and then scroll down to that tab across the top, bloggers, forums, link building, social media, and you will see the newest and greatest in social media that you want to share
from
like
Azure.
the Roundup for next week, the 15 next nations. You can also find out really quickly that South Korea is that, Roland is the one name study, and Brundish Suffolk is the one place Wednesday. Of course, Oktoberfest is the project showcase of the week. Show us your t-shirt again, man. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Hollywood Walk of Fame Spotlight and Meet Our Members, which is Melanie McComb. Did you notice that?
I did. I saw that. That's great.
Wait. I got to show that off. Hey,
Show it
Melanie. Where is she? She's in here sometimes with us. Look, it's Melanie McComb.
Woohoo.
She's the Irish genealogist. So
nice.
Congratulations on being the member of the week. And it was fun reading through some of your stuff because I love Melanie. She's so much fun. Yeah. She's very quiet and very, but she's so fun. I love her. All right. So that is everything that we were supposed to do. I'm trying to find a good place to end on. But anyway, we'll leave Melanie in. You haven't checked 52 ancestors in 4 weeks
52
or
ancestors.
so. Face purple crying from Vicky.
52 ancestors in 4 weeks. Well, we did the ancestor of the week with June's brother.
Yeah, that was the anniversary, though.
The anniversary one. Oh,
well, we'll make sure we get to that next week because I'm bound and determined to end on a.
Yes.
Okay, so there was a private chat. What was that about?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
Got that.
All right, so we love seeing you people. We love hanging out with you, and we're gonna love seeing you next week.
Bye. See ya. Bye.